Mr. Happy Living here, and I'm happy to be broadcasting from WITV7 in the beautiful Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina, USA. Hey friends, just take a minute and try to imagine how you'd feel living the unique and distinct life you were put on this planet to live, doing work you love, with people you love, in places you love, and all the while creating something of real value to others. That's what I call a life of significance. And I can tell you it makes a very happy life. And so can Kate McKennie. She's my guest star today, and she's here to share her unique and distinct journey to her life of significance. Hey, Kate, welcome to the show.
Everyone, thank you so much.
Good. Well, you just take a minute and tell us what you're doing these days to make your mark of significance on the world.
All right. Well, I live in Nashville, Tennessee, and for the last 8 years, actually well before that, as a volunteer, I have stumbled upon a ministry called The Next Door. And many people confuse us with this neighborhood app that helps you find dogs and plumbers, and that's not what we do. So unofficially, our tagline is, we do not help you find your neighborhood resources, but we help your neighbor next door get clean and sober. The Next Door is a faith-based addiction treatment center for women. And I started volunteering with this amazing organization in 2009, helping as a volunteer with helping ladies get their resumes together. And if you're a volunteer long enough, they eventually start paying you. And that's what happened to me. They started giving me a paycheck about 8 years ago. And I proudly serve as development director that oversees this fundraising, volunteer programs, marketing, with the common goal with one purpose, to help more and more and more women achieve lifetime recovery and kick the disease of addiction from substance abuse. So that is what I do every day.
That's awesome. Give our audience a little picture of the scope. How many women are you helping a year? Because it's pretty phenomenal.
At a time, we can help 82 women in our residential and detox level of care. And then we also have 50 other slots for outpatient treatment. So in the span of a day, it could be about 150 women a day, but it's about 1,600 last year. We served 1,600 women last year. And since the ministry began, which was in 2004, we've served 13,300 women that have come through these doors with one goal, one commonality, and that's they're in active addiction, and they're ready to turn their life around, and we get to be a witness to that.
That's great. You gave me goosebumps. So tell me, what are wild praying women?
The wild praying women are who we get to thank for who birthed this organization. So the Next Door began with an empty building, and one woman, really her vision. She was driving past this empty building and heard audibly from the Lord him saying, don't miss the opportunity to use this building for my good. So she confided in a friend, and that friend told another one, and they formed a group in 2003 called the Wild Praying Women. That's what they named themselves. And they were just that. And I'm so thrilled that there are still hundreds and thousands of wild praying women like me that keep this organization going. But they were responsible for coming up with, in the early 2000s, what is the need in Nashville, Tennessee? What is something we could do with this empty building for women? And now, 4 buildings later, we've expanded and grown and have a new building. We are really still serving and carrying out that initial mission of the Wild Praying Women.
That's awesome. All right, Kate, let's have some fun now with mathematics and let our friends across the World Wide Web get to know you through our equation of our happy formula. So it's a simple one, but it's very powerful. Capacity plus purpose equals happy. So let's start with capacity. What are your practices for building your personal capacity, whether it's physical, mental, spiritual, financial, emotional? In other words, Kate, what do you do on a regular basis to create all the capacity you need to take good care of yourself and your loved ones and still have plenty left over to give to others?
I love this formula. I love this question. What's really important to me is one, community. I look forward to coming to my place of business every day because of the people. They pour into me. They check in with we check in with each other. We had one in here going on a cruise asking for fashion advice today. And we had another yesterday crying because her apartment was broken into. This is a real community. And I love working in a place where we can be real with each other, whether it's laughter and tears. humor is a big part of my life, period. I have a personal philosophy, just that some people are just too serious and life is too serious, and we got to lighten it up and take time to laugh every day. And so I have a husband who makes me laugh every single day. I have a very energetic dog that he has personality plus. So humor in my day is very important. That keeps me going. And I'd say maybe third is I'm not bored here in my role. Every day, I know our services are needed. I have to raise millions of dollars to keep these lights on so more and more women can afford to get clean. Addiction treatment's very expensive. So I'm very much fueled by the need. And we keep having this issue, definitely in Tennessee, but the opioid crisis in general. And so until we solve this, until every insurance carrier in the world funds the entire stay a person needs to get clean and sober, I'm going to stay motivated to further this cause. So those are a couple things that talk about my purpose and my capacity and what fuels me.
That's awesome. Well, before we move on to purpose, specifically, let's discuss my favorite capacity building concept called a Kaizen state of mind. It's this beautiful Japanese idea that small incremental steps add up over time to yield great big results. A Kaizen state of mind is knowing there's always something I can do better tomorrow than I did today. And it's based on mindset, not circumstance. It's optimistic. It creates this gentle yet powerfully continuous uplifting of my life day after day after day. So Kate, how does a Kaizen state of mind help you increase your personal capacity to continuously become more so you can continuously give more?
I have always been a creative person, and I like to use that creativity to reach new people. And so I get asked quite a bit to go and speak to groups, whether it's a group of sweet little ladies from a Baptist church down the street, or a group of men at the Rotary Club, businessmen that might have, deep pockets. No matter what audience I'm invited to do that, I want to be creative with the time that I have and the audience that I'm speaking to and craft a message. So I really love, and I've really worked on this public speaking over the years through Toastmasters, as you probably have heard of Toastmasters. It's really helped me. So each speaking engagement, I feel like there's a tiny bit that I learn from it to make the next one better. So speaking engagements are big because the story of the next door, the story of addiction, is one that not everyone's ready to talk about and really even aware of. We can really put our head in the sand. So if I get the opportunity to get in front of a new audience, that excites me. And I want to keep getting better and better with a message that's compelling and moves people to action.
Very good. Okay, let's dive into purpose then, that second element of the happy formula. And I've observed that major life transformations or discovery of purpose often, sadly, come from devastation. Addictions, disease, death, disaster, some big crisis strips a life to its core. You see that every day. However, in my second book, Turning Inspiration into Action, I shared the transformational process that I've used to discover my purpose using inspiration. So how about you, Kate? Was there a specific moment or event or crisis or inspiration that revealed to you the purpose you were meant to live?
Definitely more of a positive one than any kind of devastating moment. But I grew up in a house where we gave back quite a bit. So on Saturday mornings, when my friends were watching cartoons and eating cereal and sleeping in, we were at the soup kitchen. My mom and dad took us every other Saturday to volunteer somewhere. And so every other Saturday it was at the soup kitchen. Other Saturdays we did other things. So they instilled in us from a young age, 8, 9, 10 years old. We do this as a family, we give back. And I might have dreaded it at first, but I learned you left that, you might have gone to that volunteer role not as excited. You left there just really pumped up. It feels good to give back. And so I have learned that I want to be in a career where when I lay my head on the pillow each night, I feel good that I have helped and bettered another person's life. My initial career in college was to be a broadcast journalist. I wanted to be on the news. I wanted to be the next Katie Couric. And we did some exercise where we had to videotape ourselves and have them critique us. And I just had a check in my spirit at that moment. And when I was 19 years old and said, this isn't going to feel good, laying my head on a pillow every night to read bad news to people. And so I really changed gears and wanted to be a nonprofit professional for the last 20 years. And that's what I've done. But it definitely stems from parents who instilled that in me and the feeling I had when I did give back.
So what was when you were pursuing broadcasting, what was there a catalyst, or was there an instant of something that happened that said this is not going to be the life that fits me, and turned you to charitable work? What happened?
There was an assignment where we had to video ourselves reading the news, kind of a fake news story. And then the class got to critique us. And I sat there and had to watch 30 people pick me apart, how my lip curled one way, how my hair looked, how I had a little bit of too much of a Southern drawl. And I just couldn't take it. This is my life. I'm going to be critiqued for appearance and what I said. And I made a change very quickly, changed my major from broadcast journalism to just an applied general communication degree. And I felt that there wasn't going to be as much meaning in that career, and it wouldn't kind of make me it wouldn't make me happy. Yeah.
You got lucky to learn that so young.
True.
Tell me, so your parents drug you into volunteering, and when did you shift from being a child that got drugged there by your parents to your very first time, I want to go volunteer by myself? When did that happen?
They say they drug me, 8, 9, 10 years old, 11, 12. And I'd say kind of teenage 12 to 18 is when I said, no, I want to go. I want to do this. So I'd say it was kind of the first 5 years was like, yeah, I guess it's just what we do, but I'd rather be doing something else. And I was a teenager that actually enjoyed it. So that was key. I would say when I was on my own in college, and definitely when I moved to Nashville in my early 20s, I sought those opportunities out. I said, I'm doing something each week. I'm exercising, I'm working, I'm seeing friends, but there's a key part that's missing, which is service. And I sought it out. I've done it ever since.
That's great. Okay, Kate, let's take a quick break to let our sponsors say hello. If you have more ideas than actions, if you have more promises than change, if you're ready for the life you are meant to live, then TI2A is the book for you. And we're back, and this is the Something Significant show, and I'm your host, Matt Gersper. And my special guest star today is Kate McKennie. She's the director of development at the Next Door, a treatment program that provides expert care for substance use and co-occurring disorders in a faith-based and compassionate setting to empower women for lifetime recovery. So Kate, I know you're going to love this article called The Science Behind the Power of Giving. I found it on lifescience.com, and it says the act of giving itself can be a gateway to discovering your reason for being on this planet. It says there's compelling scientific data to support the notion that giving of one's time and talents and treasures is a powerful pathway for discovering purpose, transcending difficulties, and finding fulfillment and meaning in life. So I updated the formula. Capacity plus purpose plus giving equals really happy. So what do you think, Kate, from your experience? Have you found that giving your time and talents and treasures has been a pathway for discovering your purpose and transcending difficulties that you've faced, and for bringing real meaning to your life?
Absolutely. And I see it so much in our volunteers and our donors that I get to work with here. There's a real different feeling when you write a check for $1,000. If that $1,000 donor then becomes a weekly volunteer leading a Bible study or praying with our women or even serving a meal to them, that there's a shift. They're actually seeing what the dollars go for. And that has been the same in my experience as well. If I worked for Save the Whales out, in another country and I never saw those whales, it'd be tough. I get to come each day and interact with the women that I am actively raising the money for and funding volunteers for. So to me, getting your hands dirty, so to speak, really furthering that mission is a much deeper level of commitment and fulfillment than any kind of, just throwing money at a problem. So I'm a big, firm believer in that. And scripture says where your treasure is, your heart is also. And we firmly believe that here. Our volunteers and donors are just entrenched in the life of this work.
That's great. And so that's the science, and I agree, it's 100%. I love the wonderful feeling, and you know it too, that comes from the fourth element of significance, doing work that creates value for others. I know from experience that the magic of life comes not from getting more, but from giving more. But there's more to it than that. It's not just giving that's magical, Kate. What I've been exploring and experiencing too is it's when you're giving from living in your purpose. That's where the real magic is. So tell us, Kate, how does it make you feel when you're giving to others through the work you were put on this planet to do, and a client says, the next door saved my life?
Oh,
Another one says, you've given me a new outlook on life and my future. God is now number one in my life. And another, the next door is the only place who would accept me. And one, when a client is nearing their discharge date and says, I don't want to leave here. And finally, I will forever be grateful to the next door. They saved my life.
oh,
So, Kate, how does all that make you feel?
you're about to make me cry. That's the best part of this work. What I have learned from working alongside these women is they're no different than I am. Our lives might have taken a different path, but we all want to be loved. We want to belong somewhere. We want someone to tell us they can do it. They believe in us. And I'm very lucky that my path included loving parents, a wonderful home, opportunities where I could, grow and be encouraged and have praise. And most of the women I encounter that walk through our doors did not have that experience.
Yeah.
Even the tiniest compliment I give. I saw a woman this morning and I said, oh, your makeup looks so nice today. She says, really? It does? It was almost like she didn't believe me. And so I have seen firsthand, it feels amazing to have a place that really does believe in you. And just those words of encouragement, that is the best gift we can give to women who have kind of walked through despair, is just to show them they can do it. It feels great.
Yeah. And that's it. That's the real magic. It's this great, big, happy circle. Giving your time and talents and treasures is a powerful pathway to discovering purpose. And giving from living in your purpose brings this profound joy to your life. So giving leads to purpose, and giving from purpose leads to joy. So to more properly reflect the exponential power of the happy formula, let me tweak it just a little bit to this. Capacity times purpose times giving equals happy to the third power, and that's really, truly, deeply happy. Does that sound about right to you, Kate?
Absolutely. I love the giving part of that formula. Your formula is great, but I love that you added that giving. It does just increase.
I tell you what, go read that article on lifescience.com, folks. It'll just light you up. So this is great, good stuff, Kate. Now let's wrap things up with the lightning round. I love the power of words and the capacity for great quotes to change lives. So I'm going to read a few of my favorites and have you tell us what they mean to you, and give us the first thing that comes to mind, Kate, because it's called a lightning round. Ready?
Ready.
From Helen Keller, I long to accomplish great and noble tasks, but it's my chief duty to accomplish humble tasks as though they were great and noble.
Oh, I love that. The word humble is so key there. I love that she says she longs for it. It's her duty. Duty stood out to me in that phrase. I wish more people felt a duty to give back.
Now, you mentioned humble. I was going to bring this up earlier with the, what was the group of women prayers? What was the name?
Oh, yeah, Wild Praying Women.
The Wild Praying Women. And I was doing research for this interview, and I couldn't find anything really about the founder except in generalities. And so talk about humble. I suppose that's on purpose. I don't know her name. Are you able to tell us who she is? The woman who...
Of course.
What's her name?
Her name is Linda Leathers, and she served this ministry for 15 years and just recently felt the Lord calling her somewhere else about 3 years ago. But I want to write a book someday called The Power of One. I want to learn about these visionary leaders who God kind of imparted some wisdom and vision in them. And look what they created now. 13,000 women because of her vision. are able to afford this.
Well, bless her. I couldn't find her name anywhere. And so that's just a testament that she's doing this for the good of others and not to shine light back on her. And when you
True.
decide to write that book, let's talk and maybe you'll let me publish it for you.
Okay, sounds great.
So, next quote from Adyashanti: a total acceptance of yourself brings about a total transcendence of yourself.
Mm, that's powerful. Acceptance is hard in groups, but I have found that accepting yourself, once you finally get it, one of the clients a long time ago said to us, I finally now can look in the mirror and admit that I love myself. But before that, I never wanted to look in the mirror. That's transcendence, is when you can make that shift.
Beautiful. From Rumi: if you put your heart against the earth with me, in serving every creature, our beloved will enter you from our sacred realm, and we will be so happy.
That's your formula right there. The key there is serving and equals happiness. More people need to get out and do something for someone else instead of staying so much within.
And we have company in that from 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 24. Let no one seek his own, but each one the other's well-being.
Mm. And that just shows community. We need to be with others.
Beautiful. The show anchor from Goth: whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now.
Begin it now. Now is the key phrase there. Yeah. What are people waiting for? Get out there and serve.
What are they waiting for? And what are you waiting for about your book?
I know, right?
Begin it now, Kate. Begin it now.
I know.
And now, folks, it's your turn to be a giver too. If you can hear my voice and you are inspired by today's show with Kate McKinney, please share some love with our magnificent broadcast team by giving what you can to WITV7. They're a 501c3 charity on a mission to educate, empower, and encourage. They do good works with your kindness. Kate, I love the core values of the Next Door that are used to serve and empower women in crisis.
Mm.
Love, faith, hope, wholeness, community, respect, and encouragement. And I admire your mission to provide evidence-based substance abuse and mental health services for women in an environment of faith and healing to restore hope and a lifetime of recovery. And I'm super happy that you've shared your healing voice and hopeful voice on our show today. Will you take a minute or two and just share any parting remarks you'd like to leave with our audience?
Oh, thank you so much. I guess I would just say to anyone listening, if you or anyone is battling with substance abuse addiction, you're never too far gone. God has a plan for your life that is abundantly good. And there are places like the Next Door in every community that offer affordable treatment options if you want to live differently. And I've seen miracles. I've seen walking miracles out of this building from people just willing to take that first step and walk through the door.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kate, and God bless you for what you do.
Thank you so much, Matt.
And I also want to thank WITV7 for hosting and promoting our show so we can keep interviewing inspiring guest stars just like Kate and reaching folks just like you ready to create your own extraordinary lives. Most especially, thank you, viewers and listeners. You'll find links to websites and social media and all things Kate McKinney and the Next Door. Find her, friend her, read their blog, donate with your treasure, or get involved with your time and talents, all in support of the Next Door mission. It's all available at thenextdoor.org. That's THENEXTDOOR.org. All one word, thenextdoor.org. And from me to you, dear friends, I love you, and I want you to be really, truly, deeply happy too. So I want you to go to happyliving.com and take our happy quiz. Because when you measure your happy, you'll focus attention on it. And focusing attention on it inspires change and learning and improvement, all to flow right into your life. And once you take the quiz, and it only takes a minute, then I hope you'll give some thought about what we can do together, you and me. Yes, please think about what we can do together right now to improve the happy of your world, one person at a time. Till next time, I'm Matt Gersper, You are awesome, and this is the Something Significant Show. And we're out.